Alright, so we've got the Chromicons, it looks like, powering the ship. Some big old waves. And our Illumineers plus Jasmine. Azurite Sea. Azurite Sea! Thank you to Card Market for sponsoring today's video. It's the best place to buy your singles online in Europe. We had the new set reveal. You're going to see my reaction to the Lorecast edited down for the best bits. But after the Lorecast, we got 4 bonus cards, which I thought I would start off the video with. These were revealed on the Disney Lorcana website. We've got Dale, Friend in Need, which is a 3-cost Inkable with 3 strength and 4 willpower. It quests for 2 and the ability Chip's Partner. This character enters play exerted unless you have a character named Chip in play. Obviously, entering play exerted is a downside, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. But you only get 1 extra willpower for such a downside. Of course, if you have Chip in play, this card's very good. You get 1 extra willpower compared to a vanilla stat line Mickey Mouse, which Mickey Mouse was good enough to see play in set 1 and isn't good enough to see play anymore. But it's honestly not the worst card in the world. I don't think it's going to see any competitive play, but for example, in a draft or sealed format, I think this card will be a very solid pick. Up next, we have Chip. Was the first one Chip? No, the first one was Dale. There was also a couple other cards you're going to see later on in the video which are worth considering for Chip and Dale. So 3-cost Inkable also with 3/3 stat line which quests for 1. But the upside is when you play this character, chosen character gets +1 lore this turn. Very similar to Donald Duck Musketeer. The difference is this has 1 extra willpower compared with Donald Duck, and it's not a bodyguard. Oh, it actually has 1 extra strength. Donald has 3 willpower, 2 strength. So this card's pretty good. I actually think this could see some competitive play, particularly in aggro decks. We already see Donald Duck making the cut there. You would have to say that the Donald Duck probably is a bit better. You'd probably rather have that flexibility of being a bodyguard for 1 strength less. But of course, if you start adding in Chip and Dale synergy, then the Chip becomes significantly better than Donald. But I could see a world where you play both Donald and Chip, particularly if you're not playing Amber with Amethyst, because I think that these cards are kind of competing for Madam Mim Fox at the same kind of slot. Often Madam Mim Fox is very good on turn 3 in an aggro deck. But I think that Chip and Donald Duck both could make the cut. It's almost guaranteed lore, right? If you have a character on the board, which is going to be questing, Chip can come through and give you 1 guaranteed lore. And that could be pretty good. And again, if you're playing it in Amethyst, even though it's competing a little bit more for value with the Mim, for example, you can also bounce it back and then replay it for guaranteed lore. Often with an aggro deck, you're just going to bounce back something like a Lilo, a Maleficent, a Daisy Duck to gain extra lore with those by readying them. But I think this card is actually definitely very playable. Both of them are quite playable. And of course, if there's lots of good Chip and Dale characters, then this Dale card becomes better inherently. Now, the next card I think is one of the best cards revealed from the whole video. And this is a 2-cost Inkable in Emerald. You guys know me, I love Emerald. It's Gogo Tamago, the Darting Dynamo, which is a 2/2 card which quests for 1. It's got the Inventor tag, which there's quite a big theme of Inventor cards you're going to see in the later video. Evasive, which is obviously very good. And Stop Whining, Woman Up. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to gain lore equal to the damage on chosen opposing character. That could be very, very strong indeed. Obviously, Emerald Steel is the most obvious place for this. You could sink in a bunch of damage to an opposing character and then pay that 2 ink to gain lore. Having said that, I also think this card has maybe even more potential in a Emerald and Amethyst deck by being able to bounce this back multiple times. You quest with it, you spend 2 to bounce it back with a snake, you pay 2 to replay it, and then you pay 2 extra for a total of 6, and you could gain a whole bunch of lore in a kind of similar way to a goat. Any way of gaining lore without having to quest can be very, very powerful. And a 2/2 evasive is pretty good on turn 2 anyway. So this card is pretty tasty to me. I think it's quite interesting. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's definitely good enough to see some play, and you could really build around the whole card. And the final one, Hiro Hamada, the team leader. It's a 4-cost Inkable in Sapphire, I got there eventually, with a 1/5 stat line which quests for 1. It's also got that Inventor tag. I need to upgrade all of you. Your other Inventor characters gain Resist 1. And then Shape of the Future, you can spend 2 ink, look at the top card of your deck, put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. Not really convinced by this one at all. whole inventor theme deck seems like a stretch. I think coming into this set, we have about 4 inventors, which does include Flaversham as the most playable of the bunch. There's like a random vanilla card in Emerald, which hasn't seen any play ever. There's like a Bell Inventor card, which has never seen play. I think Hiram Flaversham is basically the only good inventor in the game. And I think there's a Minnie Mouse from set 5, like the 1-cost uninkable Minnie Mouse, which is one of the worst cards in the game. So I'm not really too optimistic about a full inventor theme. And the payoff for this particular inventor card is very minimal. Giving your other inventor characters resist 1 isn't exactly that impressive. In fairness, it would be pretty good if there were lots of really good inventor cards, but it's not that impressive. And the second part of the ability is also quite lackluster, spending 2 to put 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. I only quest for 1 with a 1/5 stat line. It's just not a very appealing card to me at all. So not that impressed by many of these. I think the standout is going to be the Go-Go Tamago, which I think has a lot of potential. But let's see the rest of the Lorecast and the rest of the reveals for Azurite Sea. Azurite Sea.
Well, hello, Lumineers. I'm Ryan Miller, brand manager and co-designer of Disney Lorcana.
Hi, Ryan Miller.
And I'm here to welcome you to this edition of the Lorecast.
Thank you. Welcome.
Azurite Sea.
I can turn up louder if you want.
Following a map, our Lumineers set
blast.
sail on the beautiful yet unpredictable Azurite Sea. They'll have to be vigilant as the high seas not only brings high adventure, but frightful danger. From coconut-clad pirates to giant wave mazes, there are plenty of loose cannons on the sea.
That's a big maze.
Regardless, with new faces and heroes joining the crew, it'll be a journey anyone would want to record in their logbook.
What is this?
And
These
speaking of
coconuts
new
from
heroes,
Moana?
we've got Big Hero 6. Baymax is joining the crew. And what adventure would be
I've never
complete
watched it. Am I missing
without
out?
the Rescue Rangers?
Hey, Emma.
So
Rescue
let's talk
Rangers.
a bit about the products
Also
for
never
Azurite
watched it.
Sea.
Am I
Now, this
missing
time
out?
around, we're doing something a little
We need
different.
the Pooh
with our
card
gift set.
sleeves, Scar card
We're
sleeves.
doing the Stitch Collector's Gift Set. I'll give you
Ooh.
one guess as to the theme. That is right. It is an entirely Stitch-themed set. You get a portfolio that has the art. Every piece of art that Stitch has appeared on in Lorcana is going to be on that portfolio. You get 4 Azurite Sea booster packs. You also get a
Yzma.
special foil promo, Stitch Alien Buccaneer, only available in that set. Of course, we have
set.
everybody's favorite booster
Gift
packs.
set promo.
Who knows what treasures lie within? And speaking of treasures, we have our treasure troves, a term that makes a lot more sense now in a pirate-themed set. We have our single player decks, which you can just pull right off the shelf and play. A lot of fun there. So first off, we've got these wonderful
In the background.
Scar sleeves. This
Looks
is
like an
that
Elsa
enchanted card from
playmat.
Shimmering Skies. Wonderful piece. Here we've got the sleeves. We've got the matching deck box there.
Oh,
Now,
okay. Deck box as well.
many of you also may know that sometimes I like to abuse my power to get certain cool things to happen. But in this case, I didn't need to because everyone loves the Honey Wizard. So we finally have Honey Wizard sleeves, the Honey Wizard deck box. I'm pretty sure that all my decks now are going to be in this deck box. It's going to be very confusing for me, but that's fine. I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
Now let's talk playmats.
It looks like an Elsa, and I'm not
We
sure the
have
other
some
one.
beautiful art for our playmats, starting with Elsa, the Fifth Spirit. Let's look at that beautiful piece there. Very
is a
excited
banger.
there. And in accordance with the theme of Azurite Sea, we of course had to use
Oh,
Donald Duck Buccaneer.
That's tasty.
Well, since-
Wait a second.
Instead of playing against your friends and family, you are now playing with them. It is a cooperative experience where you will team together to defeat the Ursula Glimmer and save Lorcana itself.
Dude, these are sick looking.
Whoa! Well, that's kind of cool.
The European Championship will
Oh,
be at Disneyland
confirmed date.
Paris
Hello.
Resort in December of 2024. And I
See
will
you there. Oh,
I'll
I'll
also
see you there
at the
too,
North
buddy.
American Championships in the Disneyland Hotel at the Disneyland Resort in California in January
Hopefully see you there.
2025. And of course, everything culminates in the World Championships in 2025. And where else would it be? The Walt Disney World Resort.
Where? When?
Now, one thing we talked
Damn
about
it.
at the D20. I want to say hi to my
Edgar.
friend Edgar Paston, who is also
Edgar?
one of the art directors for Disney Lorcana.
Yo,
Come on, man.
hi Edgar.
To be
Where
here.
did he come from?
Nice shirt.
It's true.
It's a nice shirt.
And Edgar, how long have you been an art director with us now?
A little over 3 years.
That's outstanding. So yeah, pretty
Yes.
much from the beginning almost, right? Like,
Pretty much,
oh,
yeah.
that's amazing. Okay, and then of course you worked on this set as well. And
Yeah, it was. I got to be set lead on this one this time around, so it was a lot of fun.
let's see. So let's start
Azurite
off with the man
Sea.
himself, Baymax.
Oh!
He is a 3-cost inkable, 0 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore.
Robot.
His name is Baymax Personal Healthcare Companion, which I like the formality there. It's kind of nice.
It's written on the back,
Ability
so
fully charged.
like it.
If you have an inventor character in play, you pay 1 less ink to play this character, and you said ow. For 2 ink, remove up to 1 damage from another chosen character.
Grandpappy.
I think
Grandpappy
art is
synergy.
beautiful, right?
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
The fact that the
Inventor
flavor text, like you
tag,
said,
Basil,
that's just
Bell.
so cool to me that they tie all of that stuff together. But
It's one of my favorite things. Like when we first were coming up with the game, we knew we wanted to have as much theme on the cards as possible. And
Grandpappy
of course,
deck.
there's what we would call flavor text, which is usually at the bottom, kind of in italicized text here.
Because
But
2
we
ink
also
sounds
what we call
horrible
ability
to remove
names, and
1
these are
damage,
just
but
always kind of like
with
to the
Grandpappy that
character
says
here, and we
spend
just wanna
2
help them
ink to
convey, like,
gain
what's happening on
2
the card
lore.
and stuff. But it's another way too to get some really fun theme out of the
yeah,
and you can do that
to
a
help you
lot.
tie into all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah, this is fun. All right. Now,
Card
this one-
could be good.
Well,
And
so
I think
if you have
Grandpappy's
an inventor character
bound to be
in play,
good
well,
at some
what-
point. Maybe.
what do we
I say that every set,
perhaps?
though.
Hiro Hamada. There we go. Hiro Hamada.
Another inventor.
That's right. Is a 3-cost inkable. Hiro Hamada, robotics prodigy. 0 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore. Has the ability Sweet Tech. Exert and pay 2 ink. Search your deck for an item card or a robot character card and reveal to all players. Shuffle your deck and put that card on top of it. And at the bottom it says a couple more tweaks.
Doesn't seem
Just
very
about
good, does it?
Got it.
It's
Yeah.
very
I'm glad you
expensive
read all of
to
that,
do.
'cause I-
And you're not adding it to your...
People ask me at conventions. All
Not
the
adding
time,
it to your
"Can you
hand, but
clarify?"
top of the
I'm
deck?
like, probably not.
But I can tell you about the art.
Yeah,
It's really-
I can tell you about this art.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think for this one was a little
don't
bit
think it's a
tough
very good
because of his
card.
hair. His hair.
Oh, interesting. Sure, sure.
I mean, it's beautiful. It turned out wonderful. I think Denny did a wonderful job.
Oh yeah,
with
like
it, but-
reflecting the screen on this side, but kind of differently on
Yeah,
this
finding,
side.
Finding the right balance too, because there's only so much volume that you can
Sure.
can add.
I know about hair volume and lack thereof. But what I think what's interesting is that our art, on the card is, this it's so tiny, but the amount of detail that goes into the art
look
is
at all
really amazing. If you really
It is
look
lovely.
at all the things on his desk, everything.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about the game is the attention.
It's a
to detail.
hero
I think
and
that is
a
one of my
synergy,
favorite
but yeah, it's a bad card.
parts of it really is because that's how we show people our love for this game and our love for these characters as well.
That's our visual love language, right?
That's right. That's right. That's how we show we
that
love.
with you
Yeah.
guys.
It actually looks
With
like a
attention to
very,
detail.
very bad
Okay,
card.
next up, still with Big Hero 6, Honey Lemon. Chemical
Honey
Genius.
Lemon. Quest for 2. I'm
two-cost
interested.
inkable. 1 strength,
That's a
1
sick
willpower, 2 lore. The ability, here's the best part. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to have each opponent choose and discard a card. Oh, and look at the...
It's not. Yeah, exactly. You were talking about detail earlier, and not only does the artist have that say, but our art directors.
I love this card.
Amazing, by the way.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it.
The art directors
I want
are
it.
involved in
Oh,
these
this card's so
pieces.
good.
Aris,
That is
who
such
did
a
this
sick
piece,
card.
And the art directors
Oh.
are really looking at those details and really wanting to like.
That is a
infuse lot
belter.
of that
You guys know I
magic
love this
into
card.
it.
It says discard in it, Quest for
it's
2.
so much fun. It's so much
doing
fun.
it.
Yeah, and you're going to love this as the flavor text kind of tickles me.
I am
because
gonna
when
love
you play
this.
her, your opponents are not going to love this
Yeah.
at all. They're going to have to like.
It's
But
okay
kinda
on
neat, too,
turn
because
2.
you these types of cards, and this is clear. This is not the first set that does this, but these types of characters that you can pay an additional cost when
Yeah.
you play them.
It's particularly good in
I think came out of
Amethyst.
Shimmering Skies for the first time.
maybe that's not
They had a
true.
really nice
This is a very
strategic
good
choice,
card.
right? And
Very,
that's
very
something
good
that
card.
Emerald is really known for, is kind of choosing, like being flexible and that sort of thing.
It's not a worse fight because it's
So this idea of,
guaranteed
like, do I play her
discard.
for 2 ink just because I need a
Guaranteed is a big
character out,
deal.
and 2 lore
And it's
for
flexible. It's
tempting,
still
or
not
do I
that bad
wait
on
till
turn
4
2
ink to really get
in
all
some
the effect out of her.
situations.
And that can be pretty interesting because
Or
it turns what is
moreover,
normally
like,
like,
if you're like 4 ink,
she
you can
costs
play
2,
this on
might be an
something
early
else.
game
This card's
play.
good.
But if you draw her late game, you're not
You
really
don't necessarily
sad,
play
right?
4
Normally
copies.
you might be sad late game to draw a
Yeah,
2-cost card because you're like, man, I really need something that's a heavy hitter.
It's a
But
good
this
card.
one, can still have that late game effect. So I think it's a
I
nice,
actually really
that's
like
a-
this
that's a fun
card.
mechanic.
I actually really, really like
All
this
right,
card.
now
There's not that many cards which say discard in the
Fred,
game, and there's not that many inkable
mascot by
in
day.
particular.
His face in this piece. Let me get through the card. We'll talk
Yeah,
about the art.
yeah.
So it is a 1-cost inkable, 1 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore, and his ability. How cool is that? Whenever this character is challenged, gain 2 lore, and he says, "But by
Wow.
night, I am also a school mascot."
That is good,
It's
isn't
just
it?
such a fun. But his face, I
Isn't that
I
good?
adore this art.
Yeah,
It is super
and we
fun.
thought it was hilarious to have him doing the sign spinning thing. It's such a like, that's how you meet him. And
What an interesting card.
so,
It's
yeah.
super fun.
I like the look
A
of
lot of
that.
really cool stuff.
Imagine you can
going
shift
on in
this.
one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, coming up now.
Being in that costume is hilarious.
Almost done with the Big Hero 6 ones, but we have a legendary Big Hero 6 coming up.
Oh,
so,
legendary
But
alert.
next up we have Wasabi.
Wasabi.
Methodical Engineer is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 3
Also an
willpower,
inventor.
1 lore. 2 abilities now. First one is Blades of Fury. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. Its player gains 1 lore.
Okay.
And
Kind of
quick
cool.
reflexes. During your turn, this character gains evasive.
Eh.
And of course, here he's using his blade there to break some chains. Is there a story behind the chains there?
Can you change your own characters?
Well,
No.
that's actually part of what you're going to be seeing.
I don't think this is very good. We've seen like a
Yeah,
few good
yeah.
cards
Kind
and a
of,
few mech cards. I think this is on the
always
mech side.
always
right?
broken out in
Two
between the
sapphires.
cards, and that's part of the narrative.
Don't
That's
look
going
very
to be
good so far to me.
discovering.
So it's for us to
along with
figure
those
out.
cards.
Yeah, it's for us to figure out. I love that.
I won't give too much detail, but it is part of a short narrative.
And these are kind of fun abilities here too. Like this one is like, sure, I'll probably use it on my opponent to get rid of an item that I don't want them to have.
Yeah.
But in a pinch, you use it on your own to once again get.
Yeah, it's a
some
bit too
surprise
expensive,
lore
right?
out
You'd
of
rather
it,
have
too.
less stats and
And I promised you a
costing
legendary
3.
from the Big Hero
I think
6
it's very good.
Yes.
franchise, and of course,
Here we go.
it has to be Baymax
Oh.
Armored Companion. This
Legendary.
is a
5 cost is good in
inkable,
Sapphire
2
because you can
strength,
ramp
6
into it easily.
willpower, 2 lore. The ability, the treatment is working. When you play this character, and whenever he quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from another
Grandpappy
chosen character
time!
of yours. Gain 1 lore for each 1 damage removed.
Let's
this
go,
way.
it's time for
This
the
is a
healing
fun
decks.
piece of art right
Yeah.
here.
I'm excited for
What a
that.
good way to swing
Grandpappy and
the-
Baymax in the same deck.
The pendulum there.
Well, and this is also, going along with the theme that started, I believe, in Shimmering Strides, or was it before that, where the art for the legendaries breaks the border in certain key places. I think it's a really fun detail there.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun playing around with how we do that and how far we go, and
Yeah, that's actually
we're
true.
we're
Eric. You
starting
could
to
do
get
some
into the
cool
groove
stuff with
here.
Oswald.
Yeah, no, it
of,
looks amazing.
How we're breaking
Gain
that plane.
one
And it's
lore
like
for
subtle,
each
but it's
one
really
damage
effective, I
removed.
think, especially with like brighter effects like this.
But it's whenever
And
it
then you've got
quests
these
as
interesting little
well.
things here. Can you tell us about those, or are those still secret?
Thanks, TJ.
No, not secret at all. I
Everybody
think
forgot it was my
those are-
birthday, but
those
TJ
are the,
remembered. Thanks, mate.
Ink Runner ships.
Ink Runner
And
ships,
Those
okay.
happen to be native to the world of Lorcana, and you're going to see a lot more
Guys,
of
it's not
those
my
in a lot
birthday.
of different
Before someone
versions
gifts a
of
sub
that
saying
same
happy
ship.
birthday.
Right, so these are how like Illumineers and their glimmers might like traverse large distances inside
For those
of
that don't
Lorcana.
fly on their own, I would say, right? Because,
Yeah, maybe Amber
they-
Sapphire, but
Baymax.
there's also the potential to play it with
the
other stuff.
luxury of
Like
going
if there's
on
enough
their own.
healing
But yeah,
stuff
we have
in Sapphire, we
some,
already saw one
some
heal
very
card.
cool little Ink Runners coming up. And
Awesome.
you guys will get to see a couple of them.
I'm interested in
exciting.
healing
Oh,
decks, but
very
yeah,
cool.
Amber
Okay,
would be the
now moving
go-to.
on to Rescue Rangers.
My childhood.
my teenagehood. I don't know. I'm an old man. I don't know. Anyway, but of course, we have Chip. Ranger Leader, starting off this part.
Oh,
of
no,
the
not
card
another
reveals.
squirrel. Is it a
He's
squirrel?
4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, has ability to value friendship.
Yeah.
Aw.
While you have a character named Dale in play, this character gains support.
Yeah,
Chip
this
and
is- this is
Dale,
just
wait, I
one
know
of the
them.
Many cards
It's
that we
Chipmunk.
like to tie and have that synergy. Crossing both cards. And,
Oh,
and
sure,
this is actually perfect because not only does the art connect, but so does like the
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
the
not a
mechanics,
squirrel.
like the game.
It's so
the
cool,
game
yeah.
itself, he wants to have Dale out. Yeah, that's super fun.
These kinds of
beautiful
cards
card
aren't
design.
generally very
Yeah,
good,
no,
which
it's, again,
require
lots of detail
another
in there.
character on the board.
Now, speaking of, we
But
don't have the
3-4
art we
of
were talking
support
about, but we do
would
have
be
Dale.
very good.
This one is Dale Mischievous Ranger.
just as good.
Hey, he is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore with the ability Nuts About Pranks. Well,
Could be good
when
with,
you play this
Revive.
character, you may put the top 3 cards of your deck into your discard to give chosen character -3 strength.
Wait, that
until
looks
the
like a
start of
squirrel.
Your next turn. And
Is this
is cool
one
'cause
also a
they're
chipmunk?
both on there. Chip and Dale are both in the art here, and I love that he's dropping acorn bombs.
Or 3 specifically. Right?
Oh,
Because-
sure.
Yeah, because that ties. Yep.
Nice.
So he drops 3 acorns on whoever you want to challenge, and they lose strength because they're like ducking head under the. I love that story of the card. That's super
yeah,
fun.
that's really
We
nice.
try and tie little details into
love
this
that.
as much. as
China
we
box
possibly
synergy,
can.
yep.
Because
Revive
we're
synergy.
also-
China box
we're also
synergy is
big
definitely a
fans
very
of
good
it.
point.
Yeah, you guys play
childhood,
like
yeah.
this is and you love Chippendale.
We actually
right?
did enjoy the
Rescue
China
Rangers,
bog
outstanding.
in the deck
All
we were
right.
playing just now. I
And
think
then
we
of
could have a
course we
second
couldn't do
copy.
Rescue Rangers without Gadget Hack Wrench.
Yes.
Right here.
Super rare,
She's
shift.
a 6-cost inkable, 3 strength, 6 willpower, 3 lore.
Also an inventor.
She is the Brilliant Bosun.
Yeah.
She has Shift 4, and her ability Mechanically Savvy. While you have 3 or more items in play, you pay 1 ink less to play Inventor characters. So this is like you can. I'm sure a lot of you are already going, Inventor deck.
Yep.
I'm going to build the Inventor deck. But we see another. We see another Ink Runner
Ink
there.
Runner, yeah.
That's really cool. And she's kind of like standing. I love that classic gadget
I'm not
pose
massively
right there. Thumbs
convinced
up.
by this one.
Super cute.
Let's see maybe if
the
there's good
goggles
shift
and the ears
targets.
popping out like an eyepiece. It's just.
3 items.
And as a bonus, we got to learn a new word here. I didn't know what bosun meant.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
it was
it's
bosun.
Expert.
Well, it's a ship's crew.
It's a-
It's a ship's crew.
yeah.
They have a whistle, a bosun's whistle.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
Yeah,
there you
and
go.
I
that's-
did not know that.
That's
I did not know that. Did you know that, chat?
Other than that, I'm not sure
Of
what
course
they
you
do.
did. Chat knows everything.
Like they're supposed to be like a specialized person
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the ship. But
That's what lots of people watching going, okay, guys. Ryan said he was an Age of Sail nerd. Yeah, okay. Well,
You guys
there.
make us smarter with these little details.
Oh my! I like that we have little screws and nuts for scale.
Oh,
too.
wait.
That's kind of fun too.
Okay.
Definitely helps
And
with the small
Angry
character,
Person's
like,
got your
you're
own
not
card. Look at that.
Gigantic.
Right. All right, wrapping up our reviews
more you
for
know.
Rescue Rangers, we have Rescue Rangers Away! This is a 2-cost inkable action, and it says count the number of characters you have in play. Chosen character loses strength equal to that number until the start of your next turn. And this one is just a lot going on. In there.
Yes, yeah. This is
Dog
like
card.
instant nostalgia
Yeah,
for folks that were there during that time, right? Like this is your Friday afternoon.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and Mariana is one of just one of the many very super talented artists that
Oh,
work
yeah,
on this,
yeah.
and she is amazing. She has a lot of love for Rescue Rangers too. She was
I think
right
that
around that time. For
It's pretty clear too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
oh, yeah.
the detail here and that's amazing.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting from a gameplay standpoint here is that normally any card that reduces a character's strength only does it the turn you play it. This one extends until your next turn. So this means that not only can you challenge that character on the turn you play this and not get any or get less
still
damage back,
hindered on their
but on their turn they won't want to challenge with it. So you might use it that way too, saying, well, that
It's a
character has
Bosun's
high
pipe.
strength, I'm going to use it so that I'm at less risk. I'm going to quest with a
Brilliant.
bunch of my guys. or
Playable
something
and
like that.
sealed.
So,
Eh.
yeah, that's a pretty interesting.
I don't even know if I agree with
take on
that.
the
I just don't
strength
like
reduction
low impact
mechanic.
cards which don't
All
draw
right,
and
so
don't add anything
next
to the
we've got a
board.
couple of Stitch cards. Starting
Some
off
of the
with the
other
first
ones,
location
I-
reveal, and
Oh,
that is
Stitch?
the Galactic Council Chamber, which
You
I
say
think is the
Stitch?
only way I could say that's such a fantastic name. It is a 3-cost inkable. It has 7 willpower and a move cost of 1 and 1 lore. And the ability Federation Decree. While you have an alien or robot character here, this location can't be challenged. So is there, what is
John Silver's
what are the
an
difference
alien.
between doing like
That's some pretty cool synergy.
an action or a character card versus obviously the difference
is
of
pretty
aspect
cool.
ratio, but
Yeah.
are there other differences?
John Silver's
Well,
an
I would say
alien.
the focus is
And is he a robot as
definitely
well?
Okay.
different, right? You're gonna pan out a lot more. in
I
order
tried
to
John
capture
Silver
the
deck
grand
actually
of
at Gamescom and it was
location.
not good.
This one specifically was one of our very first challenges because the whole point of this set is that you're out to sea. Right?
Oh,
You're
sure, yeah.
on this
Yeah, yeah.
weird
Alien,
area,
right.
and but then you have some locations. Right.
Right.
So instead of just doing, I think we could have gone the route of like, let's just do an island, right?
Right, right.
They're all on an island.
Yeah.
We figured like this is so big and it's
Yeah.
like it would be so cool to have that whirlpool in the center.
Yeah, I love that.
We're like, yeah, you know what? It's just sticking out of the sea. It's doing some strange
204 of
stuff.
204.
The physics again that I was starting to talk about. You start to see a little bit more of it here, right? There's whirlpools.
Characters
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
need to be
these big
exerted, right? That's
temperature
true.
yeah, yeah.
pieces coming up.
Yeah,
There's,
kinda coming
there's
up on that
walls
side.
that are gonna
Yeah,
appear
that is
later
very
in
interesting.
in the set, and
Very,
as you
very
can
interesting.
tell, probably
Could still be
this
hit
is
by like
not
Cuzco and
the
Rise
most
of the Titans.
canon version of
No,
this
no,
book.
it's got some.
It's got a lot of steel influences.
Yeah, it's got the steel symbols there.
Yeah.
I also
Nice.
love the Stitch outline.
Yeah,
in
isn't that cool?
In the glass there, that's really cool.
He's such a crowd favorite. I don't know anybody that doesn't love Stitch. So we're like, just add him in there, make sure that it's
Put a
obvious
ward
what
character in
Stitch,
there.
what kind of
Poor Stitch.
Kinda.
All right. Well, speaking of
Is there any
Stitch,
ward aliens or
I have
robots?
another action card, but it's got some delightful Stitch art. It is hot
Yes.
potato, everybody.
Oh, the 5 cost
it is a
in Emerald.
3-cost inkable action, and the abilities choose one: either deal 2 damage to chosen character or banish chosen item. And it says this is not going to end well.
right. And you could almost
It's
hear
not
his voice in
bad.
this, right? Like, he's kind of tossing it. And
And this
bad.
bizarre. What is this? It's like carrot ray gun thing with he's got a ray gun. As he stuffed the carrot in it, and
yeah,
he's
it's
throwing
meant
it.
to be
Quiet,
like
good
it's
enough.
about to explode, right? He stuffed the carrot in there and is like,
It's honestly
And
not
then he like
bad.
pulls the trigger. It's
cocktail.
like
yeah.
he's like,
The thing-
"Gah!"
the
And
problem
then of
with
course
this
the,
is
it,
spending
told
3
really
to
well by the
banish an
ability
item
itself,
and not
which
to
is
banish.
I can either
Pretty
throw it
bad.
at a character
Yeah.
or I can throw
I
it at
think
an
it's
item
bad.
and it'll blow it up. That is
Yeah.
super fun.
I don't think
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time I see these images and how they're paired with,
If it was in a different ink color, oh my goodness, yeah.
and or the flavor text, I feel like, man, I owe these guys dinner or something.
Yeah, right,
Because
that's
they do
amazing.
Such a wonderful job tying it all together.
I think
And
it's, not, quite good
easy.
enough.
So especially like some abilities like this could feel. Now this one I think is close because it looks like you're throwing a thing, but it's not always clear. Like to
Right.
tell the story of of what the card is doing in the game. And so to be able to bridge it, I think this is a really good example. I also really like the detail that since this is glowing, he's got on his face. You can
glow,
see the glow
yeah.
on his hand and his face there.
Did you notice the starfish though?
What?
This
Where's the starfish? Oh, right back there. That's awesome.
And kind of going back to what we were talking about, the weird physics. You look in the
Yeah,
back; those are not
Baboon
mountains. That's meant to be the water rising.
Oh,
and
right,
kinda
like the
doing these
maze.
Weird,
Yes. Oh, that's very
I think
cool.
three
Oh, that's
three is too much.
And now, we talked about it
I
earlier,
don't think
but
it's
here it
very good.
is. Stitch, Alien Buccaneer.
Yes.
I think we
He
saw
is a
this.
4-cost uninkable card. He has 3 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, shift 3,
Mill.
and ability ready
Mill,
for
mill,
action.
mill.
When you
Mill.
play this character, if you use shift to play him, you may put an action card from your discard on top of your deck.
Mill time.
And once again, we have a lot going on in this piece
So
as
much.
well.
So much. Yeah, this started out as a just kind of let's just get the artwork in there, and then it just turned into this just epic piece. And this opened our eyes because Christian, who is the artist on this, is now doing a lot of viz dev work for us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And what's Vizdev?
Probably only want to
So
shift
viz
this
dev meaning
onto
all the stuff where
Morph, though, and Mill.
we as set leads create the world that they're
Oh,
that the
development.
characters
Oh, it's
are-
visual
yeah,
development.
visual
I see.
development,
Okay, yeah.
It's our fancy.
Oh, so it's like
Fancy
blue sky, like kind of exploring what things might look.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
so, man, what a fun job that must be.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun for these guys, and I mean the amount of detail that he
Alien
puts
pirate.
into pretty much any of the costumes that you see that are non-canon, and we're exploring these things.
What else could
He
you?
goes
What
in
other
and does a
actions
lot
could
of
you put on
detail
top?
and a lot of background. He'll do research, and he
Oh, man.
actually like goes
That's so
goes
cool.
way deep. I mean, look at Scrump.
Yeah.
He has a little eye patch.
No, we'll be enchanted.
The
You
fact
might
that
be
he
right.
has an eye
Yeah.
patch too, and that he's in there.
Yar.
It's just,
Oh yeah,
it's
Floodborn. That's
packed
true.
with so much.
Oh, you got you got the chest hair coming out of the like
you kinda have to,
flowing.
yeah.
It's very it's almost like a cover of a novel. You got what I like is his blasters have been kind of piraticized or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it totally looks like it says blaster clearly, but it looks like you might find it on a ship as well. And then wooden swords.
That's
Yeah.
a very cool
He's got
card.
wooden
He's
swords.
spicy, but not the regular metal blade kind of spicy.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, he's awesome, and he has a lot of detail built into every piece. Like even the sash. If you notice the sash, the little detail we threw
Oh
in there.
yeah! Oh my God, the flowers on
That
the
is
sash.
Lilo's. That's meant to
so
look like
cool.
Lilo's dress. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, and then you got some seagulls there. All
Yeah,
right.
put something from
And some
Milan
ink
on
runners
top.
in the
That's
back,
true.
Oh, there.
Style ink runners. Yeah.
So it's kind of good. They're like we can zoom in on them. So
I
we can
wouldn't
see
mind
all
one
the
of these
stuff.
giant
All right,
cards.
So now we just got a bunch more cards from a bunch
Oh,
of
let's
different franchises,
go.
and we're going to start with
Yes,
Alice in
please.
Wonderland. We've got the Mad Hatter's Teapot.
Yes.
Ooh, it's an
This is a
item.
2-cost inkable item. It has the ability no room, exert and pay an ink. Each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their discard. And the flavor text
Oh!
says, Alice says, my goodness, the tea missed the cup. And Mad Hatter says, no, my dear, the cup missed the tea.
right.
Amethyst
which I
Mill.
really enjoy. And there's actually a little thing, I don't know many people know this, but
Yes!
some of this stuff, some of the flavor text is from the show itself. Some is written by our wonderful narrative team.
Yes.
But there's a hidden part of the card that
I
actually
love Mill.
tells you
Mill's so fun.
where it's from. So this line right here,
My goodness, the teacup.
if it looks like a pen like this, then it was written by our narrative team.
I got told this
Sometimes
the
it
other
looks
day.
like an open book, and that means it came straight from the story itself. Now, sometimes you'll see a little musical sign, and that is when it is a lyric from
yeah.
a song. And
I
so it's
actually
just
got
a
told
fun little
this
detail. It's
by,
been out since
Tim
day
the other
one. So
day.
go back and look at your cards. You'll see
Mad
some
Hatter,
of those.
no,
You see
my
a little
dear.
book there, and that means it came straight from the
So, yeah,
movie.
you can
Sometimes
play
you'll see
Amethyst
this,
Mill
and it
now.
came straight from the minds of our narrative team.
Which you can almost play
We're big
anyway.
on
Second star to the
iconography.
right. Makes
That-
your
that-
opponent draw
right,
5.
I mean, it's kind of. Speaking of that, it's kind of impressive how much information y'all have been able to put on the faces of these
It is
cards in a way that
packed with
isn't
info.
like
Yeah.
overwhelming.
my kind of card,
So
man.
that's
I
really
I
love
appreciate
Mill.
that because I'm not a reader. So I'm thankful that you're reading all of these. And I get to look at the pretty art.
It's very pretty. Yeah.
it's
This is fun. You see the
lot of
magic
cool
kind
details.
of making the tea dodge the cup or making the cup dodge the tea. It's really hard to say based on what the Mad Hatter thinks. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Sisu in her element.
Oh.
She is a 5-cost
That is an
inkable,
artwork.
3 strength, 6 willpower, 2 lore. She has Challenger +2, and the quote, I'm
That
a
is an
water dragon,
artwork,
this is water.
and that
It's
is a
sort of my thing.
below average card.
Again, and see, look, you can see the book there means that's straight from the source right there. Oh, and Sisu's always a delight. Like, you guys always
Colors.
knock out. She's
I
got
had
such splendid colors.
Never
and-
watched the Sisu film
man, this is
until
such a
after I
beautiful
played
piece there. I
Lorcana.
love the tiny
And then when
detail on the
Sisu
tail.
started
I mean, down
speaking,
at card
I
size,
was
it's gonna
so
be really tough
surprised
to
at how
see,
they
I think,
sounded.
but it's really neat. All the stripes. Yeah, this is a fun
I really
one.
But when you
expected
have
that this
when you have
big
it like this, and
Dom.
hopefully on other products later down the line, like you're gonna be able to really
card is
really
absolutely
appreciate
awful,
those
though, isn't it?
details. But
It's really bad.
I think my favorite is like how she's walking on the droplets of water, right? And
Oh, I see. Yeah.
really
Oh, that's
emphasizes-
super
Amethyst.
cool. Oh, I love
Amethyst, Ruby.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever
And
play
that's
this for a
her thing.
shift?
She's
No,
walking on.
You don't,
she's
do you?
walking
Oh,
on
that's
water,
amazing.
and you get to see some of the walls coming
It
up
is terrible.
around her.
I think like from a gameplay standpoint too, having 6 willpower and 2 lore, like that's, you're gonna probably get at least 4 lore out of her, if not 6. And so she can be quite formidable.
Yeah.
All right, one of my favorite enemies, creatures. I don't know what you call them.
I just had this-
Kakamura.
Gamora.
Moana is one of my favorite movies.
5-2
of all time,
rush.
And these tiny creatures are just hilarious because
Yeah.
they're cute and also threatening, like cute and creepy
Yeah.
or cute and scary.
That
I'm not
is-
sure
that
how
is
to
a
describe it.
card.
Anyway, so we have a 4-cost uninkable. This is Kakamura Boarding Party, 5 strength, 2 willpower.
I think the
1 lore.
Rafiki
They
and
have Rush
Amethyst
and
from
a
this
quote,
set is
Moana.
better than
Do you
this,
think
and
they
that's
saw
not
us?
really seeing any
Maui?
play, which
They saw
surprises
us.
me. I think that card's being slept on.
As evidenced by him jumping
Amethyst
into
Rafiki,
action.
though.
Now, I
Crossbow with
suspect you've
Rush.
had to do a lot of Kakamura for this set.
It's not bad though.
Yes.
Was there kind of a deep dive into the Kakamura?
Yes, yeah, and that was a whole basically a whole lesson that we had to
Because
have.
none of them are the same, right? I mean, they're
No.
all different,
Yeah,
right? So
they're all meant to be very different, and there's a lot of different shape language that gets built into each one of them, and how their ranks also, which is also very cool.
Oh, is that right?
We do have the chief in here.
Oh, yeah,
It's
sure.
very
You're...
obvious to see the chief. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I have to wonder, like, do the stripes, are
Do
they,
you think
like,
they
is
saw
there,
us? They saw
something to
us.
each one? It's just really interesting to see and of course on screen it was so effective to see all the different Kakamura
Yeah.
at the same time.
And you see different shape sizes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, yeah.
It was amazing.
Dude, I want one of those giant
Okay.
enchanted cards.
And now next up we have Tigger in the Crow's Nest.
All right, this was a
I
starter
love
deck
the
card,
Winnie
so
the Pooh
this is a
character.
foil in the
Yes.
starter deck, I
A
believe.
very young child. I've always been a fan, and of course Tigger's a lot of fun.
Evasive.
He is a 3-cost inkable character, 0 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore, has evasive and the ability Swash Your Buckles. Whenever you play
That's
an
a
action, this
tasty
character
card.
gets +1 strength and +1 lore this turn.
It's November,
That
first week
set
of
is amazing,
November, I
'cause
think.
in almost in every
Good
piece,
card.
there's just a lot, right? There's
like
just
this
a lot
card.
because of the action and the, it's really cool.
And that speaks a lot to the shape language that we're building into all of these, right?
Now you
We
say
wanted
shape
to-
language a lot. Like,
Yeah.
unpack that a bit. So, what do you mean by shape
Sure.
language?
So each ink has a different shape language.
Oh, okay, sure.
Where we're discussing, like for instance, here Tigger is meant to be Ruby. He's not a shy character, right? He's an
sure.
adventurer.
He's
He's out
brash.
there. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very brash. Yeah, these are the types of characters that will jump into action first and ask questions later.
Like with
So
Ursula
when
the
you
Deceiver
look
of
at
all,
these
this Tigger's
cards,
gonna
you're going to
press
see a
the
little
3.
flair of
With
that
evasive.
side of the character. And then also we're building in a lot of different sharp angles, right? Because
Oh,
it's
okay.
Ruby.
Oh, sure.
Ruby's
Like
meant to
the
be
like the
sharp.
symbol. It's got
Yeah.
those sharp angles.
Yeah, and
Okay,
if you
yeah.
look
Tigger
at the
tag,
ink
yeah.
bar,
Think that
you
is-
see a lot of the zigzags.
supposed to be
that come
tiger,
into
right?
that. You'll see that echoed in.
Surely there's not a
only
Tigger
the way
tag.
that the rope is kind of
Huh?
swaying
That's a
around,
new
which
one,
can
right? Is it supposed to be
really work
tiger?
with
Yeah, that's really
Good
great.
catch
But
from
you also see
Crystal.
that echoed in
Tigger the
birds
Tigger
that are in
tag.
the
The
background,
clouds, like they're
clouds,
like, almost lightning bolt
the,
clouds. Yeah,
the
that's
very,
really cool. Oh,
very interesting looking ink runners that you see in the background.
yeah.
You also see a lot of the very zigzaggy shape.
It
language
is
in those
Tigger?
as well.
All the Tiggers
I
have
like
the
that
tag?
when I first saw
No
this
way.
art, I thought he had both feet on the mast.
Is Tigger
Yeah,
not
But
a
he doesn't.
tiger?
He has one foot on the mast, and then his
Shows
tail
what-
actually
shows
wrapped
what I
around
know.
the mast, and his other foot's kind of even
kinda leaning
going towards that.
forward, yeah.
It's like it's very Ruby, right? It's
Yeah.
very oh, that's super fun.
Yeah, never sure footing.
No,
these characters.
why?
yeah.
Why?
That's not
Next
an
up,
amazing
we
card.
have Jim Hawkins, Honorable Pirate.
Oh.
He is a 7-cost inkable, 4
This is also
strength,
a starter
7
deck
willpower,
card.
2 lore. He's got Bodyguard and the ability Hire a Crew. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of pirate character cards and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, this is just a fantastic. I don't know if you know this, but that's the map from the movie.
It is. Oh wow, yeah, that's awesome.
This
we like
is
to
another-
throw those little details in there. For
And
you
then
guys.
there's lots of what's with the
So those are
shadows
all-
back there?
Those are all actually aliens from the crew. that
Oh
you
right.
meet.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and
It's hard to
With
tell. but
Gaston.
they're back. There.
With Gaston,
Most
it's not
of them
bad.
appear in other cards.
You need to be able
Oh
to
yeah,
ramp
is that right?
into
Oh,
it,
that's
right?
very
So,
cool.
I mean,
That's very
you
cool.
could maybe play
I like this. Of
Sapphire
course, I've
as
been playing
well.
this in my
Sapphire,
pirate deck,
Amber.
and it's one of those I play against my opponent, and it's
But
if you make your deck right, you just.
I
end
mean,
up
I
drawing
guess the
two-
comparison
on
is
average,
Surface
2 or 3
Stitch,
cards out of it.
right?
It's super strong. I mean, you're paying the cost for it, but it's a really fun card.
Bodyguard, though.
All right, and
I don't know,
finally,
I don't think it's that
we have
good.
The last card is a legendary.
Sorry to put down
and
on
it
it.
is Yzma,
Oh!
Conniving Chemist. She is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. She has the ability Feel the Power. Exert. If you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand.
The queen.
And the quote on the bottom says, one of these has got to work. Let's see what happens.
That's
All right. Isma, she looks like she's fun to draw.
looks
I'm
good
no
in
artist,
Jafar.
but she just looks fun to draw to me.
She is.
Looks good in
and you'll
Jafar.
notice a lot of the shape language again in this. A lot of the
Oh, for
crescent
amethyst.
shapes.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of crescent shapes that are echoed everywhere that we can get them.
So cool. So you like go back, like look at all your amethyst cards and look for the crescents. It's
Yeah.
really neat. I love that detail.
A lot of that, typically we say that it looks like magical fire.
Oh, sure.
It
Yeah,
has
yeah.
that very crescent shape language to it, and we throw that into windows when we can. In this case, and
That's so cool.
yeah, pretty much every detail that you see in the background, especially.
I could also hear a lot of players. I can hear their eyebrows raising because this ability can be really good.
This
I mean,
is
a lot
tasty.
of
Really
you all
good
know,
in
like when you
aggro.
play,
That's a good point.
you can run out of cards sometimes, like because you're inking
It's still
card and
quest
playing
for
one of
2
the
as
cards on your
well.
turn. You can, by the time you're at, I don't
So
know,
you could, like,
depending on
quest
your
for 2
deck,
with this,
you
and
can
then
be
you
out of
spin
cards.
on it,
So this
and
is a
then draw.
character that will make sure that at least for
Pretty
a turn,
tasty.
you're not going to run out of cards. Now you combine this with some bodyguard, and next
Yeah,
thing you know,
it's
you're
good to
drawing-
aggro, right?
you're
It's
drawing
good
a
to
lot of cards. So
Sven.
this is a
You
really
quest,
exciting
you
card.
Sven, you
and
draw
that is what
3.
we have today for
That is
card reveals.
tasty,
I want to
not gonna
thank
lie.
Edgar for coming out, and I
That
also
is
want to say,
And I think
I've
it's got
always been
potential
a
in
fan
Jafar.
of your team's work, the creative team. The reason it's beautiful is because of the creative team. And Edgar, thank you so much for making this
Thank you,
a
Edgar.
beautiful game. It is outstanding. So thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar.
Well, that's it for the announcements. But
Thanks again to Card Market for sponsoring today's video. You can see Clarabelle is continuing to climb in price, but there are some pretty decently priced ones, which might be a little bit tempting. So maybe it's starting to creep down a little bit based off these latest prices on Card Market. It might just start to shift down a little bit.